Hello to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska and this is Poland Daily Culture. And welcome again to the Royal Castle in Warsaw. Here with me is Alicja Jakubowska, the curator of the paintings in the castle. Thank you very much for being with us.
You're welcome.
And you just started a new exhibition devoted to women, especially for the International Women's Day. And so there are a lot of them, but which one of them was the most important?
Well, you're quite right. There were plenty of women who were important in the history of Poland. And we have chosen for that day, Women's Day, some of them, and we wanted to highlight their lives. So personally, I would like to introduce you to the life of Queen Jadwiga, in other words, Queen Jadwiga. She was the first female ruler of Kingdom of Poland.
But she never lived in this castle, because she used to live in Krakow, yes?
Oh yes, this was 600 years ago. So Mazovia at that time was a duchy. It was independent from the Kingdom of Poland. And Queen Jadwiga, she lived mainly in Krakow, but actually she was born in Hungary, so she was very international. And she was crowned the Queen of Poland when she was just 10 years old. Can you imagine that?
I can't, to be honest, but her painting is here in the castle.
Well, so she was as I said, she was the first female ruler of Poland. She was the queen, but not as a queen consort. She was in a position of king. And as such, she's been portrayed in 18th century, and her portrait is a part of series of portraits of Polish kings.
And Polish kings, which is here in the castle,
exactly.
The whole series, and she's one of them because she was the king, and then later married.
Oh yes, so she was crowned when she was 10, and 2 years later she was married. She married to Władysław Jogaila, the great Duke of Lithuania. He was pagan at that time, but upon marrying her, he became Christian. And that way, Lithuania and western parts of Europe became Christian.
And two countries kind of united in
exactly. Poland and Lithuania were joined, just like Jadwiga, Jadwiga and Jogaila were joined in matrimony. So both countries were joined into a union that lasted for the next 400 years. So it was a major political event.
But except the fact that she was married, she was crowned being 10 and married probably being 12, she's also a saint of a Catholic Church.
Exactly. It was in 1997 that she was proclaimed a saint of Catholic Church. She became worshipped among people, and it was because she was known for her charity work, and she also had a great religious devotion, and thus years later she was canonized. And but apart from that, she was truly a well-educated woman, and she was involved in some peaceful talks between states at that time. Even though she was that young and she was a woman, she really did a lot for both for Poland and Lithuania. And it was even the case that she went on a war when her mother and sister were imprisoned in Hungary, where they lived. So she was also a strong woman. And it might be quite surprising because she's mainly known as a very young queen who really devoted her life to marry Duke of Lithuania, and for that union that was created, but actually her life was very eventful.
There is a legend that she gave all her jewelry in order to support with this money, also the crown jewelry, the university in Krakow. Is it true?
It is. It's true. She gave her precious jewelry in order to found Jagiellonian University, which flourishes today after 600 years. It's still in Krakow. And it was thanks to that woman. Unfortunately, it was only 1 year after her death that actually it was made possible. But nevertheless, her influence, her impact was really great.
And she also tried to establish a special faculty for the Lithuanian monks, but also scholars, in order to educate them in theology in Prague. Yes,
Indeed.
and then also
Indeed.
to do it in Krakow. So she tried to bring Christianity, but also education to Lithuania as well.
Absolutely, yes. She was well aware of the power of education at that time, and this is why she gave all she had just to promote education, to enable different people of different backgrounds to study both in Krakow and in Prague. And she also insisted to translate some religious texts into Polish language so that people, more and more people, could read them and worship. So she was really great.
So she was an incredible woman, and even though she died being 25, yes?
Indeed, it really happened very often at that time in the past that she actually died after she gave birth to her child, and unfortunately, yes, her life was very short, but she's still well remembered for who she was and what she did.
So only 25 years is enough to become a king of Poland and also a Catholic saint. I would say that's very eventful.
She had to be very special.
And that's also a message for you, how amazing Polish women were and still are. And thank you very much for watching Poland Daily Culture.